Hey there, fellow adventurers and seekers of entrepreneurial wisdom. Welcome to a journey that's about to flip your startup game upside down. It's the Lean Startup Expedition. But hold on to your seats, because we're not just gliding through the chapters, we're rolling up our sleeves, donning our innovation helmets, and digging deep into the goldmine of wisdom that Eric Ries has laid out for us. Get ready to absorb insights, chuckle at relatable anecdotes, and emerge armed with a newfound understanding of the startup universe. So, let's gear up, dive in, and let the startup enlightenment begin. Chapter 1, Startup Reality Check, where ideas meet action. Okay, imagine you've got this grand idea that's been bouncing around in your head. It's genius, right? But here's the scoop, your idea is just the appetizer. This chapter smacks us with the reality that startups are less about the eureka moment and more about putting that idea to the test. Eric Ries introduces us to the concept of the lean startup methodology right off the bat. It's all about experimenting and learning, not just clinging to your initial vision. Meet Jane. She had a lightbulb moment about creating an app that revolutionizes grocery shopping. But rather than spending years perfecting the app behind closed doors, she took a deep breath and launched a basic version. It's like baking a cake, you wouldn't spend ages decorating it before checking if it even tastes good, right? Jane's app had glitches, sure, but the real-world feedback she got was like the frosting on that cake. She knew exactly where to improve. Chapter 2, Build, Measure, Learn, the Startup Tango. Now that you've built something, what's next? This chapter is like a dance lesson. Eric introduces us to the concept of the build measure learn loop. It's the startup tango. You build your product, you measure how it performs, and then you learn from it. It's not just a one-time dance, you keep waltzing through this loop, making improvements with each twirl. Meet Tom. Tom created a fitness gadget that tracks your every step, breath, and probably even your dreams. But here's the twist, he didn't make it a Hollywood blockbuster right away. Instead, he built a simple version and released it. He got feedback faster than you can say, burpee, and guess what? Users loved the basic version, but they wanted more features. Tom didn't feel like he'd failed the startup dance, he saw it as an invitation to add some snazzy moves. Chapter 3, The MVP, Your Startup's Sneak Peek. Time to meet MVP, not the basketball kind, but the minimum viable product. This chapter is all about giving your audience a tantalizing peek at what's cooking. Eric serves us the concept that an MVP isn't about building the ultimate, mind-blowing version of your product. It's like giving someone a small slice of cake to see if they crave more. Sam's here, and he's got big dreams of a customizable shoe line. Instead of launching a shoe store with thousands of options, he kicked things off with a handful of basic designs. It's like serving a slice of cake to check if everyone's asking for seconds. Sam's MVP not only saved him time and resources but also gave him valuable insight into what shoe enthusiasts were really after. Chapter 4, Pivot or Persevere, the Crossroads of Startup Life. Imagine you're on a hiking trail and suddenly, you reach a fork. Do you keep walking straight or do you take a turn? Eric's concept of pivoting is like choosing a new path based on feedback. It's not a failure, it's a recalibration. Meet Alex, who had a pet sitting app, but guess what? Users weren't just into pet sitting, they wanted a whole pet care community. So, Alex pivoted. It's like changing your hiking shoes when the terrain gets rocky. Chapter 5, Innovation Accounting, Tracking Progress Like a Pro. Let's break it down. Innovation accounting isn't about counting how many donuts you can eat while brainstorming. It's about measuring the right things. Eric's concept is simple, if you're aiming for a bullseye, you need to be aiming at the target. Enter Lisa, creator of an educational game app. Instead of just counting downloads, she kept track of how engaged users were and how much they actually learned. It's like judging a bake-off not just on looks but also on taste and originality. Chapter 6, Validated Learning, the Golden Ticket to Success. Imagine you're in a game show, and the audience gets to decide your fate. Validated learning is like gathering intel from the audience to make informed decisions. The concept is to avoid going with your gut feeling and relying on what your customers are actually showing you. Meet Max, who wanted to sell funky phone cases. Instead of assuming he knew what customers wanted, he created prototypes and showed them to potential buyers. It's like showing off your cake samples before baking the entire wedding cake. Max didn't just save time and resources, he also gained insights he wouldn't have otherwise. Well, there you have it, fellow startup adventurers. If this roller coaster of startup insights and laughter has tickled your curiosity and given you a dose of the startup bug, don't just keep it to yourself, it's time to spread the startup love. But wait, the startup carnival isn't over, it's just getting started. Don't stay on the sidelines. Join the party by subscribing to Aesthetic State. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, it's like getting VIP access to all our captivating content. But here's the real kicker, your voice matters. Dive into the comments section like you're jumping into a ball pit. Share your thoughts, your own startup escapades, or maybe even your favorite cake recipe, because who can resist cake? Let's create a buzzing hub of insights, giggles, and cake talks. So, are you ready to embrace the startup roller coaster with open arms and a hearty laugh? It's time to rock that like button, click that subscribe button, and sprinkle some startup magic in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey. Let's keep the startup vibes alive.